my typical one continuous line style. About to go underway, so I'm just working from a reference photo I took when in Bath. A scene I've captured quite a few times. I love the architecture in Bath. It never fails to inspire. Just keeping the pen nice and fluid, mindful of my perspective. I got sign here. There's shot front there. Just enough space. For our shot front. Just going to get an impression of the windows there. Now I'm going to follow this line down. Got a nice chimney there. Good reference point with those windows. Comes out there. Lots of nice perspective. I'm just going to start angling the street down now. Most of my work is portrait in this moleskin book. I'll throw some Derwent LIne and Wash colours onto it, really nice and vibrant and strong. Nice feature point there, let's capture that. And the wall comes down here. Slightly bigger windows coming in. Again, keeping the pen on paper. It's not really left the page. Always about the impression. I'm not here to take a picture with my pen. We've all got that on our phones. Comes further down. Again, the impression of our shot windows here. Nice bit of contrast coming in. Got a nice steep hill here in Bath on this street. Let's take this up now. We've got some good chimneys here. Nice and bold. And then we've got a really, very big structure here. Lots of chimney pots. Here and it merges with some kind of roof windows. And we've got an angle there, 3 windows there. That's where we meet our shot fronts again. Again, perspective is always given the impression. And then this tails off a bit now, so we've got a bit of structure here. And more windows down here in our shot fronts. Not keeping the line too straight, giving it a bit of rhythm. Now we've got a few signs which just jut out, which help perspective. Just give that sense of the street kind of flowing down. Now our bottom street meets about here. And we've got some more chimneys. Again, I'm just going to give the impression of these. It's far too complicated to get every line in there, certainly for my style. And then we've got our nice feature point here. What turret? I'm using quite a finished fine liner, 0.2 I think it is. Now we've got some chimney work here. We've got a roof just coming around here, so I'm just going to take this edge of the page, leave that over there for now, and then just we've got jutting into there, we've got a nice edge structure. Most of my work has a nice bold edge to it, so we can see it's good negative space, and the line that's right nearest to me tends to be a lot cleaner. It's important to get these windows right here, keep the perspective and the vanishing point coming into vanishing points kind of here. I'm going to continue this building here, so we've got a series of windows there, got some hanging baskets here, again just the impression, the shape it occupies, and we've got some nice long windows. We can kind of see the structure of the town now, so you've got this slope kind of carrying down, it's kind of people mingling. Now, the big structure that's missing from this sketch is the main church here in Bath. And this dominates the view. So I wanted to get this featured first, because the danger is he goes straight into doing the big structure and he's run out of page space. Again, the lines are not too wobbly, or not too straight, should I say. As soon as you get one perfectly straight line, you need to almost follow suit. You've got to keep the same style, or certainly keep consistency so you have the rhythm. Some nice windows here. Again, I'm not going to get too caught up in the detail. Got some turrets here. Again, these are quite strong. Now that horizon's kind of around there. I'm not going to do much detail work in the horizon because it will just bring it to the foreground, and that's no good. And then our side here starts to drop down into the middle here. So as a very basic sketch goes, we're almost there. And what I would always do is after adding the paint, I'll go back over some of these lines and just reaffirm some of the blacks. But for now, that's my kind of opening sketch. And the danger is to tinker with it too much, but I will stop now. Add some paint. And let's take it from there. Okay, so I've got my paints here. So I'm using the Derwent LIne and Wash paint pan set. It's had a good bit of use. It's a really nice portable set, which has got some really good vibrant colours. If you know my work already, you know I love blues and nice big bold beautiful skies. So I'm just going to take you through how I might achieve that with this set. I'm using quite a thick brush, quite cheap, not especially expensive, and then I've got a nice thicker, nice pointed brush there, and I had this kind of shark fin brush, which is really lovely. That's really good for detail. Plenty of water, and again, like my sketching, the paint goes on quickly, so I'll show you as much as I can, but I'm probably going to kick off, like most of my paintings, with a nice big blue sky. So I'm just going to jump in here. I'm not using the supplied brush pen today, but I have used that certainly on location because it holds a really good amount of water. I'm just going to go with my paints today. Just mixing that blue, nice and watery. Now, I've always got a bit of kitchen roll for my paintings, as it does get a bit messy. So I'm just going to pop that underneath, clamp that there. And then let's get this blue working a bit more. Here we go. What I might do is just add a little bit of brown just to make it a little bit darker. And my work often involves the sketchbook being prodded and pulled and tilted, but you'll see from these nice bold colours it can work really well. So I'm just going to go straight in with a nice big dollop of blue there. Actually, it's quite light, so I'm just going to darken that a bit more. I want a quite nice moody piece. Okay, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. So I'm letting it just drip down on the moleskin paper. Okay, let's get a bit more pigment in there. These are really nice and bold, these colours. As you'll see, it's just starting to pour down. Now don't be afraid to mix it up. I'm just going to throw some red in now. As I mentioned, I do like to manoeuvre the sketchbook, so I might tilt that around there and just see how that works down through my shot. Maybe use my finger, just move it around a bit. A little bit of yellow, just get a hint of orange coming through there. This is what many term a line and wash technique. So I'm not going in with one layer on my lights as such and then coming in with all the darks on the third layer. It's all about spontaneity, and usually when I'm on location there's not time to do 2 or 3 layers on site. And again, I want to create an artful representation. I'm not here to do a photograph as such. Right, okay, so just to get a bit of rhythm, I'm just going to just give that a little flick, just so we get a bit of impression of movement in the air, birds, what have you. Just going to help that come to life. But I'm not going to do too much more on there because that's getting quite busy already. All I want to do now is jump over here. I might go my slightly smaller brush now. Let's work out these browns a bit. I'm just going to give that bit of presence so it just comes into the foreground a bit more. Give it a tilt, let's let it run, see what happens. Use your finger and just pick out that building. And I will leave a fair chunk of this white. But I'm just looking for any colours that pop at me, or pop out, should I say. And then I'm quite free in how I add them on. So there's quite a nice roof over here that's kind of orangey yellow. I'm just gonna put that on again. No, not too neat and tidy, it's just how these colours work together. Do a tilt. Now I just need to get the impression of a bit of depth here. So I can either highlight this shaded area, which I think is probably my preference. So I'm just gonna go for a slightly browner colour. Again, not working exact to the line, but it suddenly brings this building out. And then we've got lots of shot fronts here which are quite dark. So I'm just gonna angle my brush. It goes on thick and dark, but the brush direction helps. The brush strokes just draw the eye up and down. So we're nice and dry now, and I'm just going over some of my original line work, which is just dropped behind the first paintwork. I'm just going to put out some more details. Just keep some of the blacks nice and strong. Obviously the paint has faded somewhat, as watercolour does, but you'll notice actually it's still got quite a vibrancy to it. Nothing worse than the watercolour fading away from the point of laying the paint down. What I love is going over with a black fine liner when the paper's just damp, and you can just see it just kind of bleeding into the paper, but not enough to run away with itself. See how darks are all faded here, so this black line can really work nicely. So the last thing I probably would do now is just using my nice pointy shark fin, just pick out some yellow. Just to bring some highlights to our scene. Just to draw the viewer's eye. Nothing more than that. Yeah, I'm not too precious, I'm going over my lines here, but it just gives that building a bit of presence. Lots of water, just draw that down like a little wave of yellow. Give it a quick dab. Just keeping some of the windows clean and white. That negative space is a real winner. So I'm just going to be as careful as I would be. Just keep some of those elements popping nice and white. And I might just go a little bit darker, just in small detail. Just fill that one in, just to bring that forward a bit. As before, I'm just going to use my bigger brush. Give it a little splash of red. I'm just going to just give the hint a bit more going on. So this will just drop. Oh, that's quite a big bit, but we can salvage that. Actually, I like the happy accents. I'm quite happy with that. That's coming up quite nicely. Just going to just merge that in. Our road there, or edge of the building. Now a bit more obvious. I'm just going to pop a little bit in here, just to bring that foreground into play. Again, keeping the brush working vertically. If I go sideways on a portrait shot, it just kind of can confuse the viewer. And that's about as much as I would do with the paints. Again, I'll probably tinker for too long, probably, but I think I'll call it a day there. But that is essentially how I use the Line and Wash paint pen set. It's really good at just giving you nice, strong, fluid colours. And as you see from my other works, it's there's a common theme to my painting. You'll see today actually we've gone through slightly, but I know when that's dry, that page will be easily workable. But again, all my works have a familiar feel. Particularly blue sky there. Again, all the lines are quite fast. There's a Lyceum Theatre in London, again with the Line and Wash set. Always pen first for me. I never really go paint first. And yeah, that's how I use the set. So I hope that's been helpful. Yeah, really recommended. Really portable. Supplied brush pen comes with it. Is great. Holds a lot of water for any portable work or on location. And I must have done probably 15 or 20 entries now, and the paint pans are looking fairly unused, although a little bit messy in the palette, but that's no problem. Okay, thanks a lot.